Hello, I'm Matt Guff from thehouse.com. I'm here with Eric Jackson from LibTech Snowboards. He's going to kind of walk us through the Ejack Knife snowboard for 21. Eric, how you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for having us here.
Yeah.
It feels good to be in Seattle. I love this place.
Yeah, man. It's beautiful out, not raining, kind of cold.
Winter's here.
Well, it doesn't feel
Getting
like
to
it.
be here.
Yeah, it's funny. It gets cold and sunny here, and then like when the rain starts coming, it gets like warms up a bit. It's like a little opposite.
Yeah. Have you been out riding yet this season?
I have not. What are we? We're in November now.
Yep.
So I haven't been riding yet, but
Cool.
watch the forecast often. So
Woo.
just waiting for it to fly.
Cool. Now you're based out of here, right? Seattle.
I live just north of here in Bellingham.
Okay.
So yeah, it's about 80 miles from here.
Okay. Not too far.
No, not too far. Easy.
When you're stationed here in Washington, where do you tend to ride?
My closest resort is Mount Baker.
Okay.
So, right, Baker a lot.
Hence the hat.
Hence the hat.
Yeah.
And I just travel a lot, follow the snow, and tend to. But the most time I spend at a resort is probably Baker.
Yeah. Okay. And you just had last season you had a huge project come out called Alignment.
Yeah, I guess two.
2 seasons. Is it 2?
Well, I guess it was last season when it came out. But yeah, did Alignment. We got a new film that it seems like forever ago. So yeah, I guess it was last season. Yeah.
Cool. And one thing that you've been you're well known for within like the LibTech community is the deck that you ride.
Mm-hmm.
You have your own pro model board. This is for 21. It'd be the 4th season board or 3rd season board.
In production in stores, it'll be the 3rd.
The 3rd season board.
Yeah, and then I'll be riding my 4th one. So.
Right, this season.
Yeah.
It's kind of fascinating, like moving forward so fast into like current run, next year's model, more prototypes and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Now let's grab that thing.
Yeah.
This Ejack is a C3 kind of camera dominant snowboard.
Yes, sir.
It's kind of gone unchanged since you guys brought it to line, right? Tell me about how you feel that it rides and what do you think of it?
Yeah, I've never been like crazy picky about what I ride.
Okay.
I just I rode the TRS for like 10 years,
mm-hmm.
and that board works great. I just kind of got to a point in my riding where I wanted just a little bit more of an aggressive board, and so I started gravitating more towards a camber dominant board, so hence the C3. And then it was kind of right around the time where like directional started, getting a little bit more coming full circle, right?
Yep.
And I'd never really ridden much of a directional board,
mm-hmm.
and so I started experimenting with them, and we kind of came up with the Ejack Knife. It has some characters of the TRS, has some characters of the Mule Air.
Yep.
Just kind of with my my side cut that I like, stiffness that I like, and width, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's my dream board, man. Works well. And as far as not changing it goes, like every year I'm like, should I change it? Like, do I need to change it for it to stay relevant in the shops and whatnot? And it seems to be doing well. People seem to really like it, and I really like it. So up to this point, we haven't changed it. So I don't know if the future holds changes, but it's a great board. It rips.
Yeah. Now you along with that, it's like, if this board influences how you ride and kind of like the conditions that you ride, and it's like, even like subtle little changes may even change the style of riding that you do.
Right.
Right. You said you enjoy the side cut radius that it has, and earlier you were mentioning that you like a little bit smaller of a side cut radius. Why is that?
I believe this is an 8 mil side cut.
Okay.
And I just feel like a tighter radius just makes turning easier.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've never really like prided myself on having like a super good turn, and so that was kind of my like thought process was like, hey man, maybe a tighter side cut, maybe it'll turn better. So it's working on the art of turning. But no, I just feel like it's more maneuverable in tighter situations, riding pillows and stuff when you kind of need to make split-second decisions, even big lines when the unexpected happens and you gotta really adjust. And so I like a bit of a tighter side cut. It's got a good width. I have a size 9, so it kind of it suits that really well, but it's also not like super skinny to where like you can get away with a bigger foot.
Right.
And then we also offer the wide too, which was kind of offered because of demand. People kept being like, we want to wide, I want to ride this, but I have a size 13 foot or something, and so we offer the wide too, and that,
Yeah, that is nice. I think that's one thing I really appreciate about your board is that it has kind of a progressively wider waist width than like a standard style board. So even if you're like a 9-10, it just like it has a little bit more width to it. But then like the wide width sizes are like very generous.
Right.
I'm only a size 11, not that big, but I love the size of the Ejack wide.
Could you ride the stock?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep, I do. I think, what is it, 25.6 or 25.8 in the middle for the 59?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't have the exact.
Yeah.
But, something like that.
Yeah. Now, with the nose shape, now as you transition from riding like a true twin board, quite a few years ago, and gradually getting into a more directional style deck, there's a lot of people who may be in that same situation that you were in 10 years ago, going from twin, they want to start doing more directional style riding, or more free riding. Right. What kind of advice would you give them to ride and help them ride switch? Because a lot of people are like, I don't feel like I can ride the board switch as well as I can ride it regular. What do you think?
Oh man, I honestly, I have no problem riding the sport switch. It is directional. It has a slight taper, but it's not too aggressive to the point where like you're riding like a POW specific board. Like you can ride this board switch no problem. I actually found it just for me. I found myself riding more switch just in like trees and stuff, and really trying to learn that, because that's an art in itself, man. It's hard, but I think like one thing I really noticed from transitioning from the TRS to the Ejack Knife is I always rode a 59.
Okay. Yep.
And with this board specific, I feel like you can downsize because the nose is so big and floaty. Now I ride a 57 pretty much all the time.
Okay.
And I also like if I'm gonna ride something really big in Alaska or something, like I'll like step up to a 59. But for the most part, I downsized
57
to a 57. Yeah.
Wow. Now with the Sidecut radius, is there mag on this?
There is,
mellow. It's pretty mellow though, isn't it?
It's not overly aggressive, but
okay.
I'm a huge fan of the magnet traction, man.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you get yourself in a sticky situation, variable snow conditions, it just holds that much better. And I don't know. I've never, since day one on magnet traction, I've never felt like it has like inhibited me in any way.
Okay.
And so. With that being said, I've always been a fan of it, just a little extra bite,
Yeah, you did mention that earlier. I think in your presentation, how you like just a little extra camber, you like a little extra bite of the magnet traction. So when you do get in those crazy conditions, you can like stay on a line, not worry about washing.
And it's interesting. I always like people ask me like, what's the best style of riding for this board, and like. I like to ride, fast and like maybe aggressive. But there's a kid in Mammoth, we call him Tubbs, right. And I didn't know him, and I was just flipping through Instagram and I saw this guy riding rails, and I was like, I think that's my board. And and so then I started like looking him up, and dude, he rips rails on the Ejack Knife. And so I was always kind of like, man, there's so many other boards. Like I'm not saying like buy this board and go chip, but you can. It like opened my eyes a little bit to be like, wow, this like is kind of an all mountain board. It works great in POW. Just like groomers, it works really well, and it's kind of like it's a good old all mountain board.
Yeah, and Mammoth jibs are nothing to mess around with. Like there's like some damn big rails, some huge features.
Dude, I gotta show you this guy. He's like 270 pretzels out and stuff. I'm like, this guy is ripping. And it's like it's a stiffer board for sure. I mean, it's not like a Jamie stiff, but it's it definitely has some backbone to it, and just like that's another reason why I kind of went to the C3 was I just felt like I wanted that extra, just like little bit of support for when you're getting into bigger drops and just landing and stuff. Yeah, I feel like you can control looping out, more. So you go in the back seat less.
Yeah, what's that? Right in the back seat?
Oh, you just like in landing, you usually can avoid like looping out and going in the back seat. So yeah.
So what? Give me 2 stories about you riding the Ejack. One that was like the best feeling that you ever had, like whatever situation you were riding, and the hairiest, the scariest spot you've ever been in with the Ejack.
Oh,
best
boy.
And scariest.
Those are. I gotta think about those. Best and scariest. Okay, well, yeah, this year in Alaska, great example of just variable snow conditions. Our first trip to Alaska this year, it was supposed to be really good, but the wind came in and stripped most of the soft snow away. So it was pretty much like 2 to like 6 inches of like Hillary Duff on like some ice.
Okay.
And so. Super variable, and so one of my first days I got on this line that I was like just looking at it I was like super confident riding the line, but then there's a little bit of doubt creeping in because the snow conditions are going to be pretty variable,
changing a lot.
And so up top, higher elevation, the snow was really good. A couple turns, had a little point release go on me, but I was on a high point, so like that was okay. So that gets your heart going a little bit, and then it's like a super blind roll going into it, and it was an air kind of into some spines. And as I like got my first vision and took off and in the air, I realized that I was gonna land like 50-50 right on a spine.
Oh, right on top.
And so I'm like, man, if I fall here, I'm really gonna go down. So I really tried to power that one out. Thankfully stayed on my feet, but that snow was really bad in the outrun, and so I kind of had to like really use the extra bite that this board gives you to kind of maneuver out of that, but made it happen. I don't know if that's the scariest ever, but that's off the top of the head. That's what I got for you.
Yeah. Well, and just imagine if you weren't riding this board, or you were riding a board with different features. That outcome could have been a lot different.
That just like goes back to the construction of this board. Like it has that backbone that can handle those like hairy, bigger situations. And I'm also confident in the board, so I was like in the air. I was like, all right, I got this, but I better get it, because it's gonna go bad if not. So so yeah, that was like. I had a bit of give you a little suck in the stomach, but worked out all right. Funnest time, man, that one could also be the funnest time ever.
Yeah.
It's like it's fun to scare yourself. It's fun to push yourself. I feel like if you're not pushing yourself, then you're just kind of stagnant and you get bored.
Yeah.
But man, anytime riding a snowboard is the funnest time ever, Like
True.
We had a really good trip to Baldface this last year. Just super fun tree riding. Actually, Japan was really really fun. We went to Japan, and that's a good classic way to get your legs warm for the season. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose it's hard to, when you're always having a fun time, when the sun's shining on, you're riding good snow.
Yeah.
It's like it's always pretty dang good.
It's hard to pick one. I mean, I got plenty of other scary ones when we were shooting for alignment. It was a relatively small drop. It was kind of like two turns to just like a kind of like a transfer over this gully, and on my second turn, like the whole slope popped. It's in the movie, and. And I had no choice but to just like point it and do my air, and I was like going up to the lip. I was like, well, I might as well grab because like what's the point of not? And so I did, and I rode out of it. But as I was riding out of it, I hit like a super gnarly like chunder chunk from an old slide, and it actually broke my board.
Oh.
And so I still stayed on my feet until I got like down a little bit lower. And I looked back, and the slide was coming towards me, and there was kind of a group of trees here. And I ended up like washing out because my board was broken.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I got up and was able to get out of harm's way. But that one was kind of scary for sure.
Oh.
Yeah. And in the moment, your adrenaline's going, and then you look
Right.
back at the footage, you're like, damn, that actually could have been kind of gnarly.
That's way gnarly. Oh, well, man,
Yeah.
it's so much fun to hear these stories like this and why you ride the board that you ride.
Yeah.
And it's great to see that it's gone on. Besides the graphic, it's gone unchanged because it really doesn't need to, because it caters towards what you need and deserve in a board.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just like, I guess I'm just, why reinvent the wheel when the wheel works just great, you know?
That's
kind
right.
of where I'm at. And I do have like other ideas for boards that I've been kicking around, and we've been talking about potentially adding another board to the line.
Ooh.
So rather than changing something that works really well, gets a good response, people seem to really like it.
That's true.
Seems to sell pretty well. Then maybe just like add another board to the line.
Yeah. Well, I'm
See.
excited.
Yeah, I'll see what the future holds.
Cool. Eric, thank you so much
Yeah,
for your time.
thank you.
Man.
That was awesome.
You're welcome.
Right on.
Best of luck this season. Have fun. And,
Yeah.
we'll be cheering you on from the internet. So
I appreciate that.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll see you guys on snow.
Rock and roll.
Peace.